Hi friends, let us welcome back to our channel, that is Point Out. So as a part of ncert series, so we have studied about the parliament, that is the law making system. Okay, so in that today we are going to continue the further chapter. So before going to study this chapter, let us revise the last topic what we have learned. So we have majorly studied about universal adult franchisee. So universal adult franchisee. Universal adult franchisee. So it says that those who cross 18 years of age, so irrespective of religion, caste, gender, sex, creed, so without disrespecting or discriminating, so each and everyone will get the right to vote, to make the decision. Okay, right to vote. It strongly says that one person, one vote and one value. So this is about universal adult franchising. Further, we have discussed about role of people regarding the representatives. How people will decide the representatives. So people will play the major role. So they will make the decisions through process of election. So they will select the representatives. So if they work properly, they will support in the next term 5 years of election. So if they don't work for the sake for the interest of the people, they will punish. Okay, and every institution, every political institution should wanted to respect the decision taken by the people. So this is the role of people and representatives. Further, we have studied about the law making institution. Law making institution. Law making institution. So law making institution taken place at parliament, also known as ncert. So the head of the parliament will be president. Okay, president. Next, it consists of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So Rajya Sabha also known as Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers. Then Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha. House of People. So combine these three bodies will make the law or a policy. Okay. Further, we have discussed that at Lok Sabha consists of member of parliaments. So they were elected by the people. So based on the decisions of the people, so member of parliaments were elected, and the member of parliaments, which party consists of high member of parliaments, MPs, so they will form the government. Okay na? So they will form the government. So to form a government, they should wanted to have high number of MPs, and they should wanted to cross the magical figure. Okay, that is we have 545 seats. 543 were normal seats and 2 seats were reserved for the Anglo Indians. So combined 545. So half of the seats should wanted to cross to form the government. So if that not possible, if any one single party will not cross that magical figure, then it leads to the coalition government. Coalition form of Government. So two parties combined form the government. Okay. So through this representative will be selected. So head of these MPs. So those who get the high support or majority of the support, he will become as the Prime Minister of our India. Then he will form the government and he will select the uh, ministers from different domains, either agriculture, next roads and transports, mining and natural resources, regarding forests. So these ministers will try to execute properly in all respective fields to proper run of the country. So to take place the proper development of the country. So this is all about we have studied in the last class. Okay, so this is all about last class. So today we are going to learn how laws are made. How laws are made. So we are going to understand the process. Okay, understand the process. But before going to understand, we need to know the basic term. Okay, basic term we need to know. That is law. So what is a law? What is a law? So law is a set of rules and regulations set by the state, what to do and what not to do. So this is nothing but a law. So for the better understanding, let us see with an example. Let us see with an example. Suppose let us assume you are riding a motorcycle on heavily traffic place. So red light was closed. Will you continue to travel or will you stop at that heavy traffic place? Obviously you wanted to stop and wait, or else if you go you are punished through penalty. So this is nothing but law. Okay, so for the smooth work to happen, so law is nothing but rules and regulations set by the state, what to do and what not to do. The best example will be traffic headlight. So this is the basic term law. Okay. So now let us understand. Our major topic is how laws are made. What is the process involved in it? But before going to that, I wanted to raise another question. What's really the essence to make the laws? What is the prominent of laws? Why it is necessary? We are involved in a complex process to make a law. But what is the real essence of it? Okay, so let's see. So why laws are made? Why laws are made? The first thing will be conflicts or issues. Conflicts are issues. So in our country India, so variety of people, diversified of country. So many people or majority of the people were facing any conflict or issue over a period of time, over a long period of time. They constantly facing any problem or any issue. So that issue should wanted to be solved. Okay. So they should wanted to get the flexibility. or the issue should wanted to be resolved. So it should be done by the laws or policies introduced by the state. So let us see with an example. Okay, so in around 1900s, so there were immense of dropouts. So many children are becoming dropouts to work, to support the family financially. Okay, so they are becoming dropouts and they are working under hazardous conditions. So because of that, their physical growth, their mental growth, all will be diminished, decreased. Okay, they are only they are only meant to work. Their fruitful days are vanishing. Okay, so this is the issue. It will majorly happen in the states like Bihar, Telangana. So in such places it heavily happened. So to eradicate such issues, such conflicts, state should wanted to involve, and it should wanted to solve it by, so to resolve it by laws and policies, through laws and policies. Okay, so conflicts are issues. The first example will be child labor. So for that, the introduced law will be right to education. Right to education. So because of this law, so this law says that the age between 6 to 14 years, they should wanted to get the compulsory education, and they are prohibited to the child labor. If they did, they are punished severely. So it eradicated the dropouts and decreased the child labor and increased the literacy rate. So this is the importance of the law. Okay, now let us see the another example. Okay, say around 1900s, so many girls are married at the earliest ages. Even sometimes at the some places 7 years, 6 years, 10 years. So such girls were married. So even not without proper maturities, development, next physical development, without proper development they are married. So because of that, they completely depended either on the family or the husband or the mother-in-law or father-in-law. So they lost their independentity, and parallelly literacy rate is becoming down, country's growth will be slow. So because of all such issues, it is day by day it is increasing. So because of such issues or conflicts, state involved. Okay, state involved and made the laws and policies to eradicate the child marriages. Eradicate the child marriages. Prohibition of Child Marriage Act. Marriage Act. Prohibition of Child Marriage Act. So for the female, minimum age should be 18 years. They should wanted to cross. And for the boys or male, it should wanted to cross the 21 years. If they violate the law, they were severely punished. They were sentenced to jail. They were charged penalty. Even sometimes, based on the situations, they were sentenced to death also. So these are the situations. So this says the prominence of laws and policies. So now you realized importance of laws and policies through right to education and prohibition of Child Marriage Act. So now let's understand how these laws were made. So what is the process involved in it? Okay. So complete process. Let's see how laws are made. So we wanted to see with an example, that is domestic violence. Domestic violence. Let us see with an example. What does it mean? So in olden days, so what, because of the dowry, so many husbands or father-in-laws, mother-in-laws, or a family, they continuously put pressure on the women's or female. So they completely put pressure on them. So they force them to work more. Force them to work more. So they try to exploit physically and sexually. Next, economically. So they try to exploit. So it happened at each and every house. Okay, each and every house. So domestic means those who live in same household. Who live in same household. So male and female live in same household, and the male will take advantage on the female. Okay, they will try to suppress. So this is nothing but domestic violence. Domestic violence. Now let's see. So this is an issue. So to resolve this issue, how law was taken place? How law was taken place? So issue or conflict is domestic violence. So to resolve this, first around 1990s. So because of the domestic violence, so from the many households started raising voice. They came out from the houses and started questioning the government. So they are demanding for the temporary relief. They are demanding for the civil laws. Okay, they are demanding for the civil laws. They are demanding for the temporary relief. So they started protest. Each and everyone was coming into light and started raising their voice. So it happened at 1990s. While the days are going on, it is still increasing. Around 1999, many students, lawyers, advocates, so all these people started against domestic violence. They are started retaliating. So they sent petitions to the parliament, and they conveyed their letter to the Rajya Sabha to pass a bill to eradicate this. Okay. So also they defined the term domestic violence. Domestic violence. They said that either physically or abuse. Abuse should be because of economy or because of sexual. If they torture them mentally, so all under comes under the domestic violence. Okay, around 1999 it happened. At 2002, around 2002, it was introduced in Parliament. Finally, it was introduced in Parliament. So here what happened? The conflict is domestic violence. It went to the attention to the Parliament. Okay. So here the conflict is, it went attention to the Parliament at 2002. So at Parliament, it was introduced to the Rajya Sabha, then it at Lok Sabha. So several consultations, discussions, analyzing the positives and negatives combined, and by the majority on both the houses, that bill was passed to the president. After the signing of the president, it became into a law. Okay, it was became into a law. It happened at 2005. So after the presidency signed, it was passed into a law. 2005. That is protection and prohibition of domestic violence. Next, after 2006, so it was came into enforcement. Okay, the law was came into enforcement. So this is the process. We have seen the conflict or issue, domestic violence. It was came attention to the Parliament through either social media, newspapers, radio channels, protests by the student, activists, next to lawyers. So all that people, through all that people, that conflict or issue reached to the Parliament. Then at Parliament, through Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, several consultations and analyzing the positive, negatives to the majority, the bill was they accepted and forwarded to the president. After the assent of the president, so it converted into a what law, what we call law. Now this is the next law was enforcement by the executives. Okay, so this is the process how the laws are made. Now let's understand non-popular and controversial laws. Controversial laws. Non-popular and controversial laws. But before going to study about this, let us discuss a small topic, that is Sedition of Act 1870. Sedition of Act 1870. So according to this act, so we all know Indians are colonials of the British people. So while they are ruling, they introduced the laws and policies. This sedition of Act 1870. So this is introduced by the British. So it says that if any Indians raise a voice against the British people, or even if they question against the British people, or if they argue with the British people, they are sentenced to jail without trial. So this is the law. So because of this law, many Indians were suppressed. They retaliated. So this act was majorly done because their own interest, Britisher people's own sake of interest. Okay, without considering the interests of the people. So this is the Sedition of Act 1870. So now let's study. This is interlinked to the non-popular and controversial laws. So non-popular and controversial laws means, so first bill was introduced at Parliament, then through that process Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, after the sign of President it became as a law. But this law was not following. Many people were started retaliating because to make something favorable for someone but suppressing other people. So because of such law, two things are happened. To make something good, other people were suppressed. So their livelihood was stolen. Livelihood was stolen. So this is the non-popular and controversial laws. So let us see with an example for the better understanding. So at municipal places, they are trying to make the places empty, but hawkers and vegetable vendors, hawkers means those who will sell the items through shouting. Okay, hawkers and vegetable vendors, hawkers and vegetable vendors. So they settled at the municipal empty spaces and they started selling their raw materials for their livelihood to support themselves. They sold millions, okay, per day, or over a period of years they are producing huge amount of service to the people. They are supporting their livelihood. But so government wanted the municipal spaces should be empty. So because of that, they introduced a law such that at municipal spaces, there is no permission to sell the vegetables, or there is no permission for the hawkers. So because of this law, their livelihood was stolen. Okay, their life was stolen. So because of that, so much of retaliation and suppression from the people, retaliation and criticism from people regarding the law. So next, so if the law is not favorable to the people, it not supportive to the people, they can consider the court. So court will take the decision whether the law should wanted to be sustained or it should wanted to be removed. The final decision making will be lies on the hands of court. So this is all about today class. Thank you friends.